सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वविधिमधुरगुं मायया भोजयन्नो मायासमित्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विविधविषयान् प्राश्य भोगान्स्तविष्टान् कच्चाचान्यान् सुमतिविभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेदान् पुनरभिशनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगण पात्वसौ नस्तुलीयः. It's very beautiful verse. Only thing is I don't know when you will get it by heart. Okay, leave it. You know, why we ask you to by heart is, for meditation, such verses will be very useful. You know, what are meditation verses, or what are we say are important verses, that if you by heart, you can go on chanting it also. Even when you are walking, you can chant. You go for a walk alone. Actually, walking should be alone. Then you must be chanting. In other words, always keeping the mind focused on that Brahma Vastu. That's the idea. That is the greatest sadhana. Okay, now he says here, Bhudado abhudado vapi srijyamane samashrudihi. So, the Shruti does not care whether it is Bhudada, Mithya, Paramartha, Bhudada, Paramartha, whether it is true, or whether it is Satyam, or whether it is Abhudado, whether it is Mithya, Abhudada vapi, even if it is not Paramartha. Shruti doesn't care whether it is real or unreal. From the Shruti standpoint, it is not there. Simple. What is not there? This pluralistic world is not there. Then why should I bother whether it is real or unreal? Like Ramana Maharshi says in the Saddarshan, when you have negated the world existence itself, why are you again talking about it? Why are you again asking how it is come in this world, who created it, how the creation has taken place? You know, it is foolish to ask for the life history of a thing which does not exist. You know, when you ask for the history of something, it should be an existent thing. You are not asking for a non-existent thing, when it was born, who created it, etc., etc., etc. That is, it is like you have thrown away all your kachada papers in the waste paper basket, and again you are bringing out all that muck and searching for something. We do. Some important paper we would have thrown away as not useful. Saprayojanata is not there. So here he says, if Dvaita Buddhi is Maya Brahmam, then in reality it is not there. And it does not matter to me, he says the Vedantin, whether Bhudado, Abhudado vapi, Satyam Mithya, Satyam va Mithya. The same word is used by Ramana Maharshi. Mrishava. No, I don't remember the verse now. Yeah, Jadamba. That way he says, whatever it is, what does it matter? It is not real. It is not there. Srijyamane Samashruti, impartial is Shruti with reference to this. Some people are arguing among the Dvaidins, it is Satyam. Some people are arguing. Some people do not object to the Satyatvam of the higher. But what they say is, in that Satyatvam also there is Dvaidam. That is where we disagree with them. Okay? So he says here, Srijyamane, if it is a product, Srijyamane means, if it is a product, if it is created, Kritakam, previous verse came, Kritakam, artificially produced, or it is a product of some idea or somebody, Shruti is equal. That which is a product cannot be real. That is all. Simple as that. So not real, sama impartial, nischidam yukti yuktanche tad bhavadi nedarat. What has been approved by determined knowledge, nischidam, no doubt about it, by the doubtless knowledge you have come to that conclusion, nischidam. Then yukti yuktam, not only it is said in the Shruti, but it is also, my experience, yukti also supports that words of the Shruti, then only the Shruti words become, Shruti words become pramanam. Have you understood? Because otherwise what will happen? Anybody will write their own ideas and put it in the Shruti. You know? That also had happened so many times. Interpolations, we say. There are interpolations will take place. Because you are a Dvaidin and you want to break the stand of the Advaidin, and then in an Advaita Grantha, suddenly you will see some Dvaita. Then the teachers also say this is an interpolation because it doesn't go with the flow of thought in the text. Have you understood? So in order to prevent all that, he says, unless it can be proved by the arguments and yukti yuktam. Yukti yuktam means it is amenable to logic. Then only we can accept. Otherwise, we call it gauna shrutis. We don't deny the Shruti, but it is Gauna. Gauna means? Secondary, not primary. What are the primary Shrutis? Primary Shrutis are many, which says always the oneness of the everything. World and the Jagat, world and the individual, everything is only one. That is Mukhya Shruti. Have you understood this? And why did they give some Gauna Shruti? For? Not at advanced. What is that mind? Manda, Madhyama, Adhikaris. For their sake, that is allowed. Anuvadat. It is allowed by the Shruti. Then after going with the Manda Madhyama Adhikari for a long period of time, the teacher says, why don't you think this way? And then he starts giving little logic. Then only the Dvaidin understands where he is standing. So it is for a purpose. Why the Gauna Shruti is given? To quieten the mind of the doubting student and make it available for the teaching of Advaita. Or we should not take it as the reality. No, the reality it is not. It is only secondary Gauna Shruti. Okay, we saw all that before also. Nischidam yukti yuktancha yattad bhavadi nedarat, not anything else. And why do they do that? Upaya Sovataraya. To present the Advaita, what is going to come in Bhavishyat. All these words are used in the previous verses. Again and again you go through it, you'll know. So to present the Advaita stand, they are making the ground for it with Gauna Shrudis. And after that, Gauna Shrudi also is baggage, thrown with bag and baggage outside. So this is the method which is adopted by the Vedantins. Whether it is there or whether it is a Mayavi's work or whether it is Mithya, Shruti is not bothered. Shruti knows that it is only an appearance. Vivartavadam is all that Vedanta has accepted. It never accepted the Parinamavada, never accepted the Karyakarana Bhavam. Karyakarana Bhavam or Parinamavadam, it's not accepted by Vedantins. Vedantins accept only Vivartavadam, and Vivartavadam is the Vadam of mere appearance. No reality. Okay, so now he says, some Ubaya Sovataraya. So we cannot say Srishti Pratipataka Shruti is a Shruti Vakyam and it should be accepted as it is. It is only a Gauna Vakyam, particularly Srishti. And even if you prove with all types of Nondinayam, what is Nondinayam? Lame arguments, even then it is not real. That's what he says. It is not ever real. That which is a product cannot be real. That which is ever there in all three periods of time only is real, which we have studied in Tattvabodha itself. And if you are producing a theory which is produced at some period of time by human intellect, that cannot be accepted by the Vedantin. So he says, and there is no prayojanam in producing such a theory. Okay. Here Gaudapada is standing his ground without allowing freedom for anybody to shake him. We cannot stand like that because our knowledge is only foundation, no. If there is no foundation, anybody can shake you. You go to some other lecture and the whole thing will go sometimes because the foundation for Vedanta is not there. Have you understood? And then that teacher will say, why all this? You learn. What is it? Yoga. What is it? Kundalini Yoga. You learn Kundalini Yoga. You can experience the truth. And all that you have studied in the Vedanta class will, because we always want to, our life is one of endless experiences. Do you understand? We want to try that also. And then we go. And then you become sometimes mad. Kundalini Yoga and all are very dangerous things. And you that also is a mithya only because you think you have experienced something unusual. Maybe they are experiencing, I don't know. But anything that comes has to go. That is the point. Anything that is with you always swabhavataha, that will be the reality. Have you understood this? So we cannot accept all that. I have one Kundalini practitioner came to me when I was taking class like this, and suddenly I see one unknown face there in the class. And after the class I called him, where are you from and Why you have come at this time? I was taking Mandukya or what? I don't remember now. I was taking the 10 Upanishads, one of them. And he came and he said, no, I wanted to talk to you. I am practicing Kundalini Yoga. And what happened? I asked. Because I myself don't know what is that yoga. So he said, my teacher is very good and he had made me experience Kundalini. So you must be happy then. Is it not? He made me experience. See the words. The teacher made me experience. So one of our teachers who explains Kundalini Yoga, one of our Chinmaya Mission person, he's saying the teacher cannot take his hands off your back. Then only you will be experiencing Kundalini Yoga. Like that. Very interesting it is. I said, then what did you experience? Great. Something in Tamil he said. I forgot now. Great nirvriti, like, I have experience. Then you should be happy. But I am going mad. These are his words. So you see, all these things which are the product have no reality. It is not the bliss absolute talked about in the Vedanta. Once you come to that anubhuti of paroksha anubhuti, there is no going back. That is the difference. You are ever blissful. Because your bliss does not depend on anybody or on anything or on any third object. On yourself. You are absolute bliss. One book I saw the other day. You are absolute happiness. Like that. Okay? Are you able to follow? So that which is produced, whatever it appears, even if you drink so many pegs, you will also get that, what he talked about. Adrucha. What do you say in Tamil? For great happiness. Somebody used, which means I experienced great happiness, but I am going mad. It's a contradictory. Okay. We get all types of people come to our classes. Whatever is yukti yuktam, with the support of the Shruti, what is given to you, that alone is the truth, yukti yuktam. It should go by the common sense. There should be common sense in it. Logic should be there. Then only you can call it, whatever else is there is only imagination. And nothing you will get out of it. Nehana nedi chamnayad Indro maya bhirityabi Ajayamano bahuda Mayaya jayate tu saha. Now, he said, with the logic, what he had to establish, Gaudapada has finished. Now he is turning to the Amnayam, to the Veda Vakyas, the Shruti Vakyas, and he says, Neha Nanedi Chamnaya Indro Mayavi. Here, two important scriptural quotations are discussed in the next stanza. This is Neha Nanedi, Vichu Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. Nehananedi. Nehananedi Kinchana is the Katha Upanishad. Amnayat. Amna means the Upanishad passages, such scriptural passages. Amna means the scriptures. As There is no multiplicity in this. Nehananedi, meaning there is no multiplicity in that one. Iha means what? In this. In this there is no multiplicity. There is only one. Akhanda Anandam Avabodham. That is all. There is no two. Nanedi Amnayad Indro Mayabhi Rityabi. And there is another Shruti passage from the Brihadaranyaka Shruti, which says Indro Mayabhi Purirupa Miyate. Indra here means Indra is not that Indra, Devendra. Indra Maya. Indra here means that highest. The self. Indra here means self. Okay, according to context, word meanings change in Sanskrit. Indro Mayabhi. That which is one becomes Pururupam. Many forms. It appears as many. The one appears as many. In the Gita, it is called the Vibhudi of the Lord. Indro Mayabhi. And why the one appears as many? Because of Maya. And Ajayamano Bahuda Mayaya Jayade. Where did you hear that? Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayade. Purusha Suktam. In the Purusha Sukta, which is also Shruti. Once you said, that is Gauna Shruti. Is born, is written. That is because it is Virad Upasana. Whole Purusha Sukta is Virad Upasana. And it is in the level of not realization, but Virad level. So, Ajayaman Bahuda Vijayade. Bahuda Vijayade. It says in the Purusha Suktam, Nayam Kudaschana Nababhuva Kaschid. All these words are there in the Upanishads. Many such words are there in the Upanishad, and he is making a commentary on that. For this we will go to the Bhashyam only, because it is sort of Shrudivakyas cannot be described in any way you like. The interpretation is not allowed. Nehananedi Chamnaya, how does the Shruti decide that the Parinamavada is to be rejected and that Brahma is Aja, Dvaya and Amrita? The following Kariga states that Nehananedi Chamnayad. And here he says, Veda describes Atma as there is no diversity here. There is no manifoldness in this Brahman. Indra appears many because of Maya. Indra Mayaya Pururupamiyate. Therefore, the unborn Atma appears as born in many forms only through Maya. Ajayamana Vividha. How is it proved that this is the ascertained view of the Shruti? If the creation were real, then the multiplicity too would be real, and therefore there would not be then any Shruti text declaring the unreality of multiplicity. If multiplicity is the truth, Nanatvam is the truth, then there is no need to deny multiplicity, and therefore there would not be then any Shruti passage which says multiplicity is not there. Why do they say that? Because multiplicity is not real. Why do we have to negate it now? That is the question. If it is real, if multiplicity is real, then we don't have to negate it. But we are negating it in the Shruti passage. Which Shruti passage? Kathopanishad says, Nehanane Chamnaya. There is nothing. There are Shruti texts like there is no diversity here, etc. Negating the existence of multiplicity. Hence, multiplicity is not real. Have you got the argument? Everybody looking as though they are seeing. It's quite easy. See, if multiplicity is real, then nanatvam also is real. Then where is the necessity to reject it? But the Shruti rejects it. That means it is not real. The nanatvam is not real. So multiplicity is also not real. That way they deny it. In fact, there are Shruti texts like there are no diversity here, negating the existence of multiplicity. Therefore, an imaginary creation is for the time being supposed to help the seeker to understand the non-duality of the Atman. Gauna Shruti is for what he is saying, is to help the seeker and in his lower levels of understanding and pull him up slowly to the correct understanding. New student is come and you say you are not real. Nothing is real. Next day he will not come. That day only he will get up and go. Do you understand? Because I think the teacher is a bit touched, they will think. Carefully you have to tread. Which is true. I believe that. Sometimes we go, first class will be, yajnas. Yajna is not always, you are not giving proper knowledge or anything. You are exposing the child to, exposing the people to the Vedanta. That is all. And it is not going deeper or anything. If we go deeper, our organizers will say, Amma, so deep if you go, they won't come. Which is true. The deeper study is for the prepared student. Had heard the Shastra so many times, had thought over it many times, only to such students. That is why when we take Mandukya or the Upanishads, we keep on writing, if you are exposed only, please come, otherwise don't come. So he says here, therefore, preparing the ground for the new student or the Mandamadhyamadhikari, he says, there is therefore an imaginary creation is for such ignorant people. And he says, who created this world, what I am seeing? That's the student asks. Then the teacher does not say there is no creation in the first day, on the first day. At the end of the year, he might say. But before that, what he says? Yes, this is created. There is somebody called Ishvara. Maya and all first only, you must not say. Ishvara. That satisfies him because generally we accept that fact. Ishvara is Jagat Karanam. Okay. And why did Ishvara create such a world? Questions will start coming like bombs. You understand? Because he is talking from ignorance. And it is a teacher's duty to remove that ignorance. Here he says, in imaginary creation supposed to help the seeker to understand the non-duality of Atma. Finally, negating everything, he goes to that higher level and says, that is your biodata. Which one? This chart. Not only your biodata, everybody's biodata. Have you understood? Nowadays they don't use it. But I have always used it. Why? Because it's very easy to teach. And that is the only audio-visual Gurudev had given us. This is an audio-visual. Isn't it? And he says, there are some faults in it, because some things and all are not said. Everything you cannot show in a representative drawing. It is not possible. So this is enough to the new student who is coming. You just explain. Gurudev used to explain this chart for 3 days, 2 days, for the new student's sake. You understand? And every time it will be different. He has his own methods. He says, yes, there is a Ishvara which has created this world for you, and the student becomes happy. At least he is going my way of thinking. But actually it is going for a short time only. After that, your way of thinking is completely wrong, he is going to say at the end. This is similar to the fancied conversation of prana and other sense organs for the ulterior purpose of establishing the superiority of prana over those other sense organs. In the Shruti text, Indra through Maya appears as many. The word Maya is used, and that establishes the unreality of creation. Whatever, if you see multiplicity, there is no multiplicity here, but if you see nanatvam, it is due to Maya. If you see 2 moons instead of 1, it is due to fault in your vision. Your eyes are having some disease. Then you see 2 moons. Actually, there is only 1. Similarly, nanatvam is the result of a disease we have in our personality, which is called Maya. They don't call it Timiram, but they call it Maya. Maya is a wonderful concept of the rishis. They are called, and the Vedantins are called by the others Mayavadis, Dvaidins. Dvaidins call us Mayavadis. And how did they come? And you ask, how did the world come? Bhagavan said, let it be, and it became. Which is more reasonable to accept, tell me. How can you say that? That doesn't stand to reason. That doesn't stand to reason. So it says here, Maya appears as many in the that establish the unreality of creation. Then the objectionist says, word Maya is also used to denote knowledge. Where I don't know. Somewhere in some text. But the word Maya is used, the Siddhanti says, the word Maya is used to denote sense knowledge only. And as sense knowledge is included in avidya, there is nothing wrong in using the word Maya as illusion. Because Maya is also ignorance. And hence, the knowledge of or ignorance of, both are included in Maya. Non-apprehension and apprehension. Both. There are also the Taittiriya Upanishad text 3.13 which says, though unborn, he is born in various ways. Ajayamanobi bahuda vijayade. Even in Purusha Sukta it is there, vijayade. Therefore, he is born only through Maya. Though unborn, you see it as born in various different, the one has become many. These are all we using the words without thinking. The one became many. When we take Gita, we also say elaborately, the one became many, that is Vibhuti. In the many you see the one, that is yoga. And everybody is satisfied, nobody questions. But Mandukya, if you have studied, you will question. How can it become many? Have you understood? We are going higher and higher in our understanding. That is why it is difficult. Comfortable is always at the lower level, no? Ignorance is bliss. That is the truth. Okay. But we must remember that a Vedantin who studies Mandukya is a Satyanvishi. He is searching for the truth. So he is not satisfied with half-truths, unbaked truths. Gauna, we are not satisfied. We will find so many loopholes in that Gauna system. Okay? And he says, through Maya, the word tu in the Kariga is to denote certainty. Certainly, Atma is born only through Maya. Atma is not to pass into creation and being born as many, these two positions. I don't know what he means by Atma is born only through Maya. Atma is not born through Maya. Sometimes these commentators also write some rubbish. Atma cannot be born. So, Egatvam and Jayamanatvam cannot go together. In one place the Shruti says Ekamadvidiyam, and here it says Jayamanatvam, Ajayamana, Bahuda Ajayam. That cannot go in one and the same thing, both cannot be real. Either it is Ekam or it is Nanat.
Only because of
Maya. It appears like that. It appears like Maya. Maya Jayade, correct. I understood. Like predicting that fire is both hot and cold. He gives the example also. As though if you say fire is both hot and cold, that is not an acceptable statement. So also you cannot say Atman is Ekaha, but appears as born many. You cannot accept birth, Nanatvam and Egatvam in one and the same. Bhashya says that, and here his translation is bad, that is why I got confused. Further, realization of the non-duality of Atma produces the good result, the removal of all miseries, and therefore that non-duality of Atma is alone the ascertained meaning of the Shruti. And what is the next reason? Anubhavam is that once I realize the self, all my sorrows comes to an end. My sorrows means? The body sorrows. I have no more sorrows. I have reached that state means I have no more sorrows. But the body has sorrows. Urges, desires, all things are there in the body. In the mind, more than that, the mind will have so many problems. And they have sorrows. And the intellect also has lot of sorrows, passions, all types of things. So all these come to an end in a man of realization. A man who has realized the self, the egatvam of the self, not the nanatvam of the self. One who has got the egatvam of the self clear in his mind is no longer an unhappy person. Atyanta Sukham is what Vedanta says. That is Atyanta Sukham, that is bliss absolute. After that there is nothing you want to gain in this world by such words. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyade nadhikam tataha. Thereafter you don't say that anything more is required to make your life full. I am Purnaha. Nothing more is required. It's very tough. We'll take only one verse. Actually, morning time only you are fresh. Alright, why that Vipassana meditation person came here and he will tell me, put only little rice for all these people. 20 people he brought. Put only little rice. I said, why? No, if they go on eating, they won't meditate. You understand? They must only have half food in their stomach. And we never had any expenditure because of them. They say, no. And night we don't want food. Like that and all they'll say. Then I asked that master, that guru. So he said, no, too much of full stomach. Today it will be full only, all of you. That put whatever, it will be like one bomb gone into the stomach. It will never digest. And coconut, it will never digest. So the effect of it I can see. In our Kerala, the Nambudiri houses and all, when they put the child for, what do you call? Veda Parayanam. They start very small age only. Ota they say. You must go on chanting. Parayanam. Veda Parayanam. So when they study that is for 9 years or 10 years. How many years, Mr. Krishnan? 7 years. 7 years. They have to study. And 7 years they don't give the child any mash dal. What do you call? Udin dal. They don't give. I was very surprised when I saw somewhere, that udin dal is not good. Why it is not good? It is very nutritious, as far as I know. But it appears it creates mandhyam in your intellect. Mandhyam means? Mandada. So I asked them, our Leela Andarjanam, why they say like that? We don't know. We never give udun to children when they start the Veda Parayana. Cannot by heart. Food is intimately connected with your attainments. Don't think it is also easy. And what about papadam? Papadam also we don't. Then what do they eat in the morning? I asked. Udin is not there. Udin is not there. Then she said they don't eat all that. They eat kanji in the morning with some the green gram, pulka, samandi, like that. They'll not be given even papadam. Why? Papadam is full of udin. Something in what they have practiced it like that. I cannot say everything traditional is bad, wrong. It is not. Mandhyam is there. It is, in other words, it is equivalent to mutton in its. That is what she told me. I inquire everything when I don't understand. And somebody will give the answer. Okay, leave it. The moment you eat, Gurudev always used to say, the moment you fill your stomach with food, the blood goes from the brain to the stomach. Because it has to be digested. So the brain will be Kalistan. And on that you teach Mandukya Upanishad. Is it not mad? Is it not madness? Cannot grasp. You are not fresh enough. Hence we take the Upanishads only in the morning. Usually. If you are studying also, study in the early morning hours and just leave it. Afterwards, the whole world will come over you in your mind. And you cannot get that full concentration. How can any grief? There is no grief for a man who had realized. There is also the Shruti text which censures a person who sees multiplicity through real creation. He passeth from death to death, says the Kathopanishad, Mrityum Mrityu apnodi something. Mrityo? Mrityurapnodi. That is the Kathopanishad mantra. Non-dual, who sees many in the non-dual Atman, he goes from death to death. Death to death means he falls into that changeful manifoldness of the world. Okay, so having said all that, we go to the next. What is the time? No. Mata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.